Hello, and welcome to my tutorial video for what I like to call the wagon wheel. So this is a finished one I made on the Mark II blueprint. You can make this on any size blueprint. I'll show you how to make one on the Mark I in just a moment. But this is the end result. Now this is a very particularly large model. I built this in Creative, but it is using all vanilla parts, no mods for nudging or anything like that, and this is a full 40 meters high by 40 meters wide. And I think it's a neat skill that people should learn how to do, and I'm not a gatekeeper, so let's actually just get into it. So what you're going to need is Blueprint Designer. You're going to need the painted beam. Another piece of kit you're going to need is the small metal pillar, small concrete pillar will do, and even the large pillar will do. It doesn't matter what type, but I feel like the metal pillar just looks better. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the basis of any circle. So you're going to need a grid. So go up to the max for the Blueprint Mark I. It's a 32 meter max height. We'll just create a little nub in there, and we're going to go down to 16 meters at the middle. Bring it out to 16 at each side. And there you have the cross that you're going to need. Now this is something you're also going to want just for if you want to do your own designs, if you want to make sure everything is consistent. You want to go diagonal, and you want to go right up to the top of this beam. It's not outside the Blueprint Designer. This is not a glitch or anything that I'm taking advantage of in-game. This is actually just how it will build. So you want to go up to it like that, and it gives you a nice reference point for the edges. So you want to do that on every single corner. If you're unsure of how far it goes, just remember the number. It's 22.627 meters for the Mark I blueprint. Now you're going to take your pillar support. We're going to just stick with a small metal pillar in mind. You're going to lock that in, and then you're just going to nudge it down. Do that on every straight and every diagonal. Now the diagonals are going to be a little tricky, and this is where we're going to show the genius of this. So you're going to want to start from the center and make sure that you're going to build towards the side you want to go to, and you're just going to come right down to the edge. Again, this is not a glitch, this is not an exploit. It will just build into the Blueprint Maker like that. Do that for each diagonal. It's very important you start from the inside. This will become apparent later. Okay, now that you got your reference points, we're going to be creating the circle going from here down to here and so on and so forth. So what you want to do is you want to delete this beam because this will actually be in the way. You won't be able to build it if you leave that there. So you want to go out and then down. Now this is kind of tricky. It's going to take some practice to learn, but you can go as far in or as far down as you want. Now if you go too far down, this might be just good enough for my purposes. Yeah, you're going to get... just get rid of that. You're going to get this little break right here, and you don't want that because on the big nice circle that's going to be just a dimple on the smooth surface. So you want to get rid of that. So you want to make your beam as close as you can. So I try and go to the inside, try and go half to the pillar. You're not going to go half on every one of them. There's going to be clipping. It's like you may clip right up here, you may clip over here, you may clip just over here. It doesn't matter. Just try and get it as close as you can so you get rid of that dimple. And it's very important, 100% important, that you start from the middle and build out your pillars like that. Because if you try and you try and do it some other way, if you try and like this, come out here and then build this on top, you're not going to be overlapping. It's not going to be a smooth, perfect circle. You're just going to have some weird offset that you can't nudging, because I think micro nudging is 0.5 meter or 1 meter, and that is like centimeters at best. So you want to go from the inside out when you're building this and just repeat. It doesn't matter if it's touching the edge or if it's going in, because it will, since you're going from the inside out, it'll always line up perfectly. And then you just repeat this until you have a full circle. If you can see, the beam is outside. It's as you can see, the beam is not connected to the pillar, but it's still connected perfectly on the inside, making a nice smooth surface. I want you to make sure you still have those reference points, because that'll be good for decorating later, especially if you want a central point in your build. Or you can just leave these blocks in the ground and just make this a different color or mark it with something, just so you have something for your blueprint. The beams as reference points also serve as a very good point of connection for your painted beam. So without them, I wouldn't have dead center every time in the build. So make sure to keep them for that. There you go. Once you get your quarter circle, you just keep on going right till the end. I've already tried to do a little bit of a shortcut and just cut off a few of these pillars and snap this as a blueprint in the blueprint maker to line it up with this, but I don't think that'll work. I couldn't line it up perfectly with the blueprint maker, and I just wasn't willing to check it out to make sure if it will work, because this is already a lot of work. And well, I just want to show you some of the other stuff that you can do with it, so I'm going to continue building it. If anybody else sees that you can, you definitely let me know. And there you have it. A 32-meter tall and wide circle, which you can do all sorts of fun things to it. Now there's one thing I'd like to point out. If you decide that even after building all of these metal pillars, you wanted them to be concrete instead, well, it's actually quite an easy fix. You don't have to destroy it all and beacon it all again. You kind of have to do something like that. So you just grab whatever you want, be it a small one, and just now this will lead to some of them not being in the right place. You're gonna have a few odd stragglers, but hey, that's fine. It's a lot better than having to do it all over again. You've already got a guide line. And the few that you're missing, you've already got your reference points set up. Or if you want the style to be like that, totally up to you. 100% customizable. Now you can also use this to make smaller ones. And then you just start like that. Or if you want to do layers upon layers, like it's 100% up to you. But this is the basic, what I like to call wagon wheel, that anybody can build just with some time and patience. I'm just going to clean this up. Yeah, so you can have one on the Mark 1 blueprint, and you can start your decorating career early. I hope you found it useful. Again, if there's anything about the putting a blueprint within a blueprint to make this easier to set up, I would really be appreciated. But we have a wonderful day. And if I don't see you in another video, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.